16 production.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We're streaming live on YouTube. We on Facebook. And, of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Oh, yeah. One down. A big one. Trade day, baby. The Cowboys had their state of the team presser yesterday, and we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll also talk about the other updates that surrounded that state of the unit press conference, including one, Trevon Diggs. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, it wasn't all good news, unfortunately, but hey, that's what happens, right? That's just life. That's just sports. Everything's not always going to be hunky-dory. So we'll touch base with all those type of things. And then tomorrow, we will get an update with our guy, Patrick No C. Walker, on the first day of training camp, which starts today. I'm excited, man. A lot to talk about over the next couple weeks. And football, Cowboys football is officially back. What's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
Y'all ready, man? Y'all excited? Y'all hype? I get that we won't really see it, the actual football games until 43 days, which is kind of crazy. But for me, for the diehards, this is where the season begins. This is where you start to gain that momentum and you start to put that flag down that, hey, man, we really want to get this thing done. And for the Cowboys, the standards are always high, but especially this year because I think we have an extremely complete team and I think we can do something special. But it starts in camp. It starts right now, and those guys talked about it a little bit at the presser, which I'll say this, and I said it on Twitter. I thought the presser was a little bit of a snooze fest. But I think that's a good thing. Last year and the years before, there was too much drama, and there wasn't a whole lot of drama that needed to be dragged out in this presser yesterday, and I appreciate that from a Cowboys fan's perspective because for years we always have something crazy going on that they're talking about there. Last year was all the guys that left and Amari Cooper and all this and that. This year it's, Zach Martin show up. Zach Martin's not missing no damn games, but, that's really the extent of the drama here with the Cowboys. And for Dallas, man, look, take that. Take that one, bro. Take that one. All right, a lot to get to. I want to talk to y'all about the contract as well. If you want to call in, it ain't got to just be the contract. It can be whatever's on your mind, whether it be a quote that came from the press conference or from the players or whatever. So call in 351-999-3787, and let's get this camp kickoff conversation going. And then tomorrow we'll talk about what happened at practice today. Let's get into this roundup, Cowboys Nation.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Big Zach, El Presidente, unfortunately, is holding out. Now, that is the, and in this roundup, it's not going to be a glowing roundup. That is the unfortunate news coming out of yesterday, right? Which got supplanted by the contract extension, which we'll get to here in a second. But it is official. Apparently, Zach Martin will be holding out. We'll see how long this holdout is going to be. I do know this mandatory to report to camp yesterday, and fines can be had. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. Years ago, players used to do this very frequently, and what would happen is teams would find them. I'm using air quotes. Y'all can't see me. Teams would find them, right? And then they come to an agreement. And when they got back to camp, teams would say, you know what? We'll pay for the fines. We'll get rid of the fines. If I'm not mistaken, I think in the new CBA, the teams can't do that anymore. So if Zach is truly holding out, he will be fined, and that will stick. Now, if he holds out and he gets the contract, it probably won't matter as much. And Jerry Jones did come out and say, you know, he is in the plans. And what I appreciate about it is he didn't go on and on about the situation. He understood what's going on, and they will get this worked out. And I truly do believe they will. I don't believe Zach Martin's missing any games. I'm not worried about him doing that, but I would like him to be in camp at some point, hopefully within the next week. I don't want him out for weeks at a time. If it were to go that long, that would suck, but it's Zach Martin we talk about. I think he'd be fine. So I'm not really panicking about this situation because I don't believe he's going to miss games. The only way I would panic is if Zach Martin misses games. That's it. That's all. In fact, I'm more worried about or annoyed with this. So J. Lou, we knew was going to start off on the PUP list. Okay, so he's on a physically unable to perform list. And we had a great conversation with DP yesterday where, hey, look, man, if these young bucks step up and they're showing, you know, their worth, I don't think it's a bad idea to kind of just, hey, keep J. Lou on the PUP list. He's still going to stick around. He's going to practice. He's going to be at camp. But no need to take him off if he's, you know, not 100% mentally or what have you. Or physically, obviously, if he's not 100% physically, there's an argument you can make to just move along. But if he's on that, hey, I'm good physically, but I see you guys these young bucks are doing well. If you need me to stay in the tuck, hey, J. Lou, how your foot feeling? Oh, I'm good, coach. No. How your foot feeling? Oh, wink, wink. Start the season on PUP list. If you don't like what you're seeing from the young bucks, cool. J. Lou comes and starts for the regular season or at some point in the regular season. So J. Lou's not a surprise. However, Luke Schoonmaker, you know, he still got some winning over to do. I was just talking to Eric. Shout out to Eric. He's our new sales guy. Big E is what I call him. Big E. We was talking the other day, and he was like, come on, Sky, talk with me in the Luke. I said, man, I ain't sold yet. I'm not sold yet. Okay. Luke Schoonmaker has a lot of selling to do to Cowboys Nation, to some. Not all, but to some of Cowboys Nation, and I am included in that. I am y'all know me. I said it on the show. I've been saying it since then. I would have went a different direction in round 2, especially when it came out that not came out. Just go look at his injury report. He was a hurt guy. You know, he was a bit of a hurt guy. You know, from high school to college, shoulder injury, leg injury, and apparently this is kind of another one of those Walesko situations. He was drafted with the understanding he had, was it Liz Frank? Something like that. He had a foot injury. Okay. So if you know he's got a foot injury, you know, he's 25. Why? You know, just why? So this is not good for Luke. Luke missed a good portion of OTAs and minicamp with the foot, or he wasn't fully available, which is a huge setback for a rookie. especially at tight end. This is why, buy the Jake Ferguson stock, Cowboys Nation. Buy the Jake Ferguson stock. This is why I was never like, hey, man, Luke gonna come in here and just take away a tight end one. Tight ends in general have a hard time year one being that impactful. Now, if they're tight end two, maybe a different story, but coming right in and being that guy at tight end one. So buy that Jake Ferguson stock, man, because I think I feel about Jake. I think he's tight end one. And I think he's going to be a fantastic tight end one for the Cowboys. But damn it, you don't want your second round pick being a backup. So as much as I love Jake, at some point I am rooting for Luke to push him. I don't want my second round pick to be a tight end 2 or 3 for his career. So that pick still looks like a questionable one. We wish him a speedy recovery. He's on the NFI list, by the way, y'all, non-football injury list, which you can put them on the NFI list if they have that injury coming into the season, coming in out of the draft, I should say. So NFI for Luke Schoonmaker, no bueno, and the PUP list for Jay Lou. But Jay Lou apparently is doing well in his rehab and coming back. So keeping my eye on this situation. If Luke is still nursing that injury, it's very possible. One or two things. They go into free agency and look for another veteran tight end, and they just put Luke on PUP or IR or what have you. Or maybe one of these other guys steps up. Noah Fant. Keep saying Noah Fant. Princeton Fant. Maybe they look at a Hunter Lipke as a guy that can do some of that H-back stuff, and they say we'll roll with 3 tight ends and we'll go 4 running backs. But this injury to Luke, or this nagging injury to Luke, could have a domino effect on the rest of the offense. From a personnel standpoint, not necessarily from a what we want to do standpoint, but a personnel standpoint. Bonus roundup. The Cowboys did sign cornerback. I think it was Josh Butler. Make sure I got that name right. Yes, Josh Butler, USFL cornerback. They worked him out, signed him the same day to complete their 90-man roster. So the Cowboys are at 89 players. They are now at 90 players. Here's a little bit of Josh Butler statistics from the USFL season per our guy John Oning, who I'm trying to get on the show here to talk more ball. He was targeted 50 times. He allowed 28 receptions, 363 yards, 4 touchdowns, 104 passer rating, and recorded 5 forced incompletions. I'm trying to veer away from the term camp body because it feels disrespectful. So what I'm going to say is this is a roster filler, and we'll see what happens with Josh Butler. Oh, but that ain't the cornerback we want to talk about today. No, sir. No, sir. Our guy, Trevon Diggs, was extended yesterday. 5-year deal. And here is the details of said deal. He'll get 5 years, $97 million, $42.2 million guaranteed, up to 104 total if he hits all of incentives, $21.25 million at signing. God damn it, this is such an amazing deal. Let me do 2 things here. I did this on Vacha's show, and I want to do it here. I want to give kudos to both parties here. Kudos to the front office, because this is another hat tip to them this offseason. I think this is an offseason where these guys are moving better. They're moving different, and they're moving much better than I thought they've moved in previous years, from acquisitions to doing things they haven't done in decades, like drafting a big tackle like Mozzie Smith, to getting in front of a guy like Trevon Diggs and doing so to the point where it's not setting the market. And that's where I want to give a hat tip and kudos to Trevon Diggs. Vach asked me yesterday, what do you think this means for Diggs? Like, why do you think Diggs accepted this and not setting the market? Well, I think he wanted to be here. I think he understands the market. I think he is comfortable with $42 million guaranteed. Who wouldn't be? Right? So I am pleased that this got done, because this was the one I thought would be really hard. But he was the one, if you guys remember when we talked about these contracts, where he was the one that you almost needed to get done because he didn't have anything to fall back on. There was no, oh, Trevon Diggs, has a 5th-year option. There was no, oh, well, like the tight ends and the running backs, we can just tag him for cheap. Nah, tag was going to cost you roughly $20 million. Now you extend him, so essentially you get 6 years out of him because you count this year, and you can push these cap hits down the road. Now we'll get the details of the cap hits as they move forward here, but you're getting Trevon Diggs for less than $20 million APY. That is amazing, Cowboys Nation. That is amazing. For a guy that's a ball hawk like this, a core 4 is what I call it, one of those core guys on your defense, playmaker, all-pro, Pro Bowler, one of only 3 guys that have 15 plus interceptions in their first 3 seasons of their career. Low-key, his trajectory, is potentially going to go to a point where you might have to start talking about him in his era, but he has to continue to play that way. And yeah, I know there's going to be some naysayers. There's going to be people, oh, well, he didn't tackle George Kittle. He didn't catch the interception. Look, if you're going to judge the man off of a play or two and just completely disregard his entire body of work, you probably shouldn't be watching sports. You probably shouldn't. Trevon Diggs absolutely deserved every single last cent of that penny, every single last cent of that contract, without a shadow of a doubt. So shout out to the Cowboys and shout out to Trevon Diggs for coming together and understanding what's in front of them, right? Understanding that, hey, I want to be here at camp. I want to get this done. I don't want to hold anything back. I think there's something special brewing here on this defense. Let's go out here and get this thing. Let's get this 6. So salute to them, man. Salute to them. We got a couple callers on the line. I know y'all probably want to talk about this Diggs contract, and that's what we'll do here. And we'll also briefly touch on what was said at the presser and things surrounding the presser. But let's go ahead and hit the lines first. We had Joe Sandberg on the horn. Joe, what's good with you, man?
Dude, I was at work when this Diggs deal got done. And the one thing I love about this, the front office actually did well from the scouts of actually getting quarterback 1 and keeping him.
They definitely did that, Joe.
And the thing I love about this is also, if you're going to go about his stats, like what he did against Justin Jefferson, there's like a plethora of receivers that he had to go up. Yeah, he got their 1 catch, but it wasn't like they went crazy against Diggs at all.
No. I mean, not
these are all
crazy.
Guys going to be paid.
It was shut down. I mean, Trevon Diggs versus Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. He played those guys in 3 games, 2 for Jefferson and 1 against Chase. They got 7 receptions for 35 yards.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about Trevon's tackling, one of the key tackles was actually him tackling Jamar Chase.
His tackling improved immensely last year. Immensely. It was questionable when the season started, like literally the first game, because they were running right to that side, pulling guards and whatnot. But I would love to see any cornerback have to take on a damn guard or tackle when you're getting pulled. But when it came to actually tackling a receiver or a running back out in space, Trevon Diggs improved. I don't know how you're watching Trevon Diggs and you don't see that.
Yeah, and I've just seen him disapprove every year since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this happen like from a cornerback perspective, like around the league. And the fact is that we don't have to look for cornerback 1 in round 1 in the draft. I feel relieved.
Indeed, Joe. Appreciate you calling in, man.
No problem.
Salute. Yeah, man, that is a very good point by Joe. He's also improved every year, right? So this contract could eventually get to a point where it's a bargain. I already think it's a bargain, personally. Uh-oh. Are we good? Check. All right, that was weird. That was really weird. All right, here we go. This is what I was trying to pull up here. Highest ball hawk rate amongst cornerbacks since 2021. Trevon Diggs, 21.5%. Meaning, when he's targeted, he's either breaking up a pass or intercepting a pass on 21.5% of his targets, which is number one over that period. Everything you look at, whether it be film, whether it be advanced stats, whether it be analytics, whatever you want to look at, Trevon Diggs is him. Not debatable. Not debatable. Now, is he a perfect player? No, there is no such thing as a perfect player. But this is a young ascending player that you got under wraps for the next 5 to 6 seasons if you count this year. So anybody displeased with this, you just looking at this thing way wrong, man. Good morning, OG. How you doing, B-Bird?
I'm doing good, man. It's a great day to be a Cowboy, man. After signing Diggs, who has slowly became my favorite player on the team. And I think part of that is because I think while everybody gives him his accolades as far as Cowboy fans, I really think he's still underrated to Cowboy fans. I've heard Cowboy fans in the offseason talk about, hey, why don't we trade Diggs or hey, why don't we just not sign Diggs? Man, I'm gonna tell you this. You're not gonna sign a guy that shut down Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Rush all but for one play. We sleep on that and people say that, but those two young wide receivers are two of the best in the game right now, and he shut them down to nothing, man.
Scary Terry.
That's
I've
one
seen
of the
him do it to him. I've seen him do it to Evans.
Yeah, and it's even more guys that he shuts down, man. It's this guy to me, and take CeeDee Lamb, and you say CeeDee Lamb is a great player. And so I always thought that, Diggs got to come, no matter what, Diggs is more important to me than CeeDee Lamb. And so that's what I would say. So since CeeDee Lamb, when do we have somebody with the productivity of CeeDee Lamb? Well, we had Cooper. Okay, well, who we had before that? Well, we had Dez. Well, who we had before that? We had Miles Austin and T.O. All the way back to Michael Irvin, right? We've had some number one wide receivers that came and gave us productivity. But the only persons between Diggs, you stop at Deion Sanders. And that's the last cornerback we had of that ilk, man. You don't let a guy's a generational type guy, man. You don't let that guy go, man. Again, I said that, as far as his job doing his job, he does his job better than anybody on the Dallas Cowboys. And that's just what it is. And I'm talking about, we can talk about Michael Parsons and everything. We can talk about Dak. We can talk about anybody. He is better at his position than anybody else on that team, man. And so I think we sleep on him as a fan base. The Cowboys gladly didn't do that, man, because this guy is special, man. He's just not a good cornerback or yeah, we can, he's good. No, he's great, man. This guy takes the ball away at a level that nobody else has. Then they brought up a stat after he took it away about giving up yardage. He corrected that, and wow, I haven't heard that stat about anybody else.
Yeah, you know how that go. Garbage time numbers and yards given, all these random stats that pop up when it's a Cowboy player. But guess what? When he wasn't leading the league in that number last year, nobody said anything about it, which is wild to me.
All he's ever done was step up to every challenge that the league has ever given him, man. And I just hope that he continues to blossom, man. I am a huge Diggs fan, man. And my son texted me that yesterday, and I was really excited because I was like, whoa, that's the one I wanted to get done. I was a little bit more afraid of that than any other contract. So I'm glad they got it done, man. It's a great day. This offseason has been great. This front office has changed. And I want to just give I don't know it, but I want to give I want to give big ups to Mike McCarthy because I think that, he's part of the voice that's changing things around there. And so, man, that's all I wanted to say, man. I'm just happy that the guy got signed, man. I'm happy that the Cowboys value him. And I want the Cowboy fans to open don't look at that last game, man. Look at his body of work, man, and just look at what this guy's done since he's been here. He's been a rock at that cornerback, not just a shutdown guy, but also giving us the ball back, man, which is totally invaluable. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, Scott, and I'll just listen off air, man. Appreciate
the call, B-Bird. Yeah, man. When look, turnovers are king. You can't undervalue that, man. The Cowboys don't lead the league in turnovers back-to-back years without Trevon Diggs. And he's improving as a cover guy as well. That's scary. And now he's got Stephon Gilmore on the other side. Whew. Come on, man. Fantastic day. And it definitely, because it doesn't set the market. It's not something. So I don't want to hear any, oh, this guy's overpaid or this or that. None of it. I don't hear none of it. He's not in the top 3, I don't think, in anything. He might be up there in the total guarantees, but I don't even know if that's the case. I looked at the numbers. I think he's roughly around 4 and 5 in almost every category, whether it be value, whether it be APY, signing bonus. They did not break the bank. And shout out to Dez, because I believe it was Dez who said, and he wasn't trying to give a lot of information out. He said that, look, I don't think Diggs is trying to beat him up over top of the head. He just want to get what's fair to him, and he got what's fair, man. So, shout out to Steven Jones, who I thought was going to be,
It's all about the money.
Steven is Vince. He just is, man. I got a couple here, but I want to get into these notes prior to getting to some of the heavy hitters, just because I know we could talk for a bit. So let me get the 314 real quick. What's good, 314?
Yeah, it's CT Magnet, man. You gotta lock me in, man.
CT. Let me see here. Let me save you, brother. Set name. What's good, man?
Bro, I don't know why we keep doubting these folks, but since February, since we lost and we signed Dan Quinn, they've been proving us wrong all off season.
Who? And what is proving us wrong? We talking about?
The front office. Like, we've been doubting them. From previous years, we had no.
No. Don't say doubting. Say putting the pressure on them, and they're finally doing those things, right? Because it's not about doubt when the evidence is there that they haven't moved this way. Now they're moving this way. We should give them kudos, but I don't think they're proving anybody wrong. In fact, they're proving us right that if you go out there and you trade for these type of veterans or make these type of moves, this makes your team better. If you do get ahead of all pros like Trevon Diggs, this does good things for your team. I think they're proving us right.
Well, I'm going to speak for myself then, because I didn't think they would do half the things they did this offseason, if you're being honest.
It's not about believing if they would. It's not about believing if they would. It's about understanding that these are the things they should do. And we've been screaming for them to do for how many years, CT?
Can't count, Sid.
Exactly.
Since 95. But yeah, I'm proud of them, man. It got me this shit, it's like every month they do something that keep putting the meter towards thinking that SB word, but I ain't gonna say it. I'm still not gonna say it to be that, but it just feels good.
Yeah, they got one of the best teams, I think, in the league, man.
You feel me? All right, appreciate it. Have a good one, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm with you, Fresh. And is this the Fresh? We got a couple Freshes here. Ain't seen Fresh in the grip. He said, we've been holding the front office accountable. Facts.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Facts. Hold them accountable. And when they start to do these things, that some of these other Super Bowl winning or Super Bowl participating organizations are doing, yeah, you got to give them some credit. And that's what I'm going to do here. We got to give them credit, man. This offseason, they've been truly moving better. And you love to see it. You love to see it. All right, one more, then we're going to get to some of these, call it nuggets, whatever you want to call it, from the presser. What's good, 803? $803. I'll come back to you, man. I'll give you another shot. Twan, what up?
Sky, what's up, baby? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Just like the previous caller just said, I feel like they proved me wrong. At least I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. And I'm so happy about the Trey Diggs contract. I also feel like it is a bargain, but I feel like he deserves a little bit more money. But I ain't gonna be mad at it because I'm just glad we got it done. But
I think it's a fair deal.
The front office,
oh.
No, it's really a fair deal. But I feel like he should have got a little bit more guarantees. That's just me. That's honestly just me because he's worth that. I honestly think Trey is a top 3 corner. Sure. That's my honest to God opinion. I think he's a top 3 corner, and I think he should have got a little bit more money. But years down the line, it's going to look like a steal.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the guarantee, it is top 3.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. You got Ward,
Perfect.
Humphrey,
You got
and
what he
then
deserves, then.
yeah, Ward, Humphrey, and then I believe Diggs.
Oh, say less, and I put my foot in my mouth. I'll take that then.
Wait a minute.
I'll take that all day.
No. I'm lying. He's 5th. So he's top 5. I think. We gotta see what the practical guarantee is, but right now he'd be 5. My apologies.
Okay. But yeah, I kind of agree with the last caller. So I ain't gonna lie. I feel like they showed us something they don't usually do, even though we have been putting the pressure on them. So two things can be true.
Well, I think it's all on your mental. Like y'all said, individually, y'all believe they wouldn't do these things, and if your mental processing going in and saying they're not going to do this, then yeah, they proved y'all wrong. My situation wasn't for me personally what they are not going to do. It's what they should do. Their history has shown us what they weren't going to do, but I've been pounding the table every single offseason. I know y'all ain't done it this way, but y'all should be doing it this way because X, Y, Z. But if you're going into it saying, hey, man, they ain't going to do this, then they proved you wrong.
Yeah, and I feel the same way he feels as well with saying, like, man, I don't want to say it, but we got to, like I told you yesterday, Scott, we got a real good chance, Scott. Like, we got to, just get us over the hump, honest to God. Just get us over the hump.
Or McCarthy. Dak been here for 8 years, It's McCarthy's baby now, so somebody got to help us get over the hump.
Somebody. No, but that's all I got for you, Scott.
All right, man. Speaking of one Mike McCarthy, let's get into some of these nuggets that we found out at the press conference, which starting, I believe, with my cousin. Terrence Steele. It's ready to go. He would not be put on the PUP list. And for me, it's a huge deal. And it's something that you should be happy about. Not necessarily spun in a negative fashion. This is showing that he's progressing well and he hasn't had any setbacks. Now, they did say they're going to be smart with him. I don't think they're just going to, hey, Terrence, go out there and just hit everybody right away. They're probably going to ease my man back into this thing. But the fact that he's ready to go, he's been medically cleared and physically cleared. If you guys heard those whistles going on in the back of the, while they were talking, that was them having their physical, I don't want to say checkups, but they were having physical tests. And he passed that. So I love to hear that Steele is going to be good to go. And he's going to be motivated as well, being in a contract year, if they don't extend him. But we'll get to that in a second. Then you got the Zach Martin situation. So Zach Martin's going to be out. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Hopefully not too long. But in the meantime, his placeholders will be Matt Forniak, Josh Ball. Look, man, like every one of these players, whether I believe they're good players or bad players, they're going to make the team or not make the team, I'm rooting for them to do well. And we know Forniak, he's been on this team for 3 years now. He's had in-game experience. I think he's going to make the roster just because he has that flex. But it's Ball I'm talking about here. Josh Ball is out the door for about 99.9% of us. But I would not be upset to see Josh Ball show some momentum, some progression from the guard position. And even if you do cut him, then you can bring him back on the practice squad and say, hey, man, that momentum you had in camp and preseason, let's see if you can carry that over in case we need you. But damn, I don't want to see Josh Ball out there during the regular season. Come on, Zach. Come on, man. Come on back, dog. We sorry. You want to talk about leverage? Yeah, Zach. You know what? We don't need to pay you. We got Josh Ball, Matt Forniak. Who and who? The dude that gave up 13 pressures and 6 quarterback hits in 3 games? And Josh Ball? Oh, all right. Yeah, this ain't the Tony Pollard situation and Zeke, years ago where TP showed you that TP was nice like that. And they legitimately could have went into that season and had TP toting that rock. But they caved. Nonetheless, man, let's see what Forniak and Ball got. Because this is a good chance for them to gain momentum, personally. And then when Zach gets back, they go back to the bench. But according to the reports, The line will be Tyron Smith at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, Biotish at center. One of these two dudes swapping in and out for Martin. And then whenever they get ready to go, it'll be Terrence Steele. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, we'll know today later on, it'll be Waletzko. Waletzko will be the right tackle until Terrence Steele gets the full go back in the lineup. But I think they're going to ease Steele in there. We'll see today. That'll tell us. I know we'll get reports on it. And then Diggs. Diggs got the contract, but according to Stephen Jones, man, he feels good where they're at. He thinks that these guys can get more done. And I actually expect them to get another one done. You know, I think it was Dave Hellman who had dropped the nugget that reminded me back in 2019. They signed 3 of their big guys. They signed Zeke, you know, they signed Collins, and they signed Jalen Smith. Not the greatest. They didn't work out like that, but they did sign 3 massive extensions in that offseason. And I wonder if the same thing can be had here. But here's Stephen Jones talking about the contract situation.
I actually feel really good about where we are, not only in the intermediate, but also the long term. I think our contracts are all structured in a good way, and we're very motivated to sign these young guys. That's certainly why you hope to have success. And I think we have had success drafting, you know, in terms of the young players that we got coming up, whether it's a Diggs or a Lamb or a Micah or a Steele or whoever may be coming up. Certainly it'd be a big plus if we could look up here and get 1 or 2 of these guys signed to longer term deals. And, you know, we've always got our eye on the ball.
I think it's funny. He brought up all those young guys. Now, obviously, you can't re-sign. You can't sign Tony Pollard because Tony Pollard signed a franchise tag. And we'll get to that in a second. But it would not shock me if they got Diggs done, they turn around and get a Terrence Steele done, or they turn around and they get CeeDee Lamb done. If you get these guys done, I think they'll revisit the big dudes like that, like Zach Martin and then Dak later on. But if you get these young guys done, you can go ahead and check them off the list, and you don't got to worry about the guys that are going to be here long term, right? So I expect one of these ones to get done. One that won't, though, is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard signed the franchise tag and didn't make a big fuss about it. He is in unison with his running back brethren. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was on the call. They did like a Zoom call or something like that. But what I respect about TP, he got that franchise tag back in March. He signed that franchise tag back in March. There was no playing around. And then he kept working hard. He kept going to rehab. He came into OTAs, mini camp, and now he's in training camp. He's not out here making a big hoopla out of not getting a long-term deal. And I love to see it. So, you know, Tony Pollard, you got to like that from him. But Stephen Jones, again, very transparent, talking about how they did offer Tony Pollard a contract.
I will say this about Tony. We offered Tony a long-term deal. You know, the same holds true for tight end. We offered Schultz a long-term deal, and we didn't agree. The reason you don't agree is they want more and you want to pay a little bit less, and you agree to disagree, and then they go on and they play under the tag. That's obviously Tony signed his tag, and he's going to do that. And certainly Dalton Schultz made that decision. And, you know, that's part of the negotiation and part of the system that's in place. It's a free market out there.
It's a free market. Yes, sir. We know that, Mr. Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Cowboy. We know that. But I got to give them, like I said, kudos in how they've been moving. And I wonder if it has a lot to do with that man right there and Mike McCarthy. We all understand that, you know, a lot of things usually get played out over the media. A lot of things get played out, through the media and get aired out in general. They've been moving real silent. And I think that's scary if they can kind of, I'm not ready to say they've changed completely, but a true change is not just a one-time thing. That's a one-off, right? But if they can continue to carry this over the years, that's how you can then eventually get over that hump. And I'm not just talking about contracts, but the things that they've done before that and how they drafted and changing something they haven't done in 30 years and how they've signed and traded for guys like Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. These things are not normal things they have done over the last decade plus. If they continue to do that, the Cowboys will remain in competition, I think, to do something special. And that's the word I've been using, do something special. All right, let's talk to Marcus. What's good, Marcus?
Hey, Scott, what's good with you, man? Good morning.
Good morning. It is a good morning, man.
Yeah, it is a good morning. Hey, salute to Trey. Like I said yesterday, getting his money. Yeah, he deserved every penny of it. And like you said, Dez had got on somewhere else and said Trey wasn't trying to hold him up. And so I think, that was a good indicator. And I wasn't surprised to hear that about Trey, just from some things you can hear about him, people talking about him and how he carries himself and talks about stuff. He never seemed like he was that type of dude. Even though he kind of, when his contract thing came up, he said some things.
Oh, he was on Twitter talking. He was talking real greasy. I was getting a little worried. But hey, man, it's a lot of money. This is a lot of money. It's top 5 money. And,
right.
I'm just glad he didn't, and the team didn't go through this fight publicly, and they didn't really fight behind the scenes to the point where it got nasty.
Right. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. It didn't get nasty that's when I kind of expected it to do. And again, the Jones don't do these things. To your point, I wanna nod at Mike McCarthy about moving that. Mike McCarthy and probably Dan Quinn both. Those guys have got a lot more influence with the Joneses now that they've got some, a bit of a track record.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I believe if Dan Quinn, I believe this from the start. If Dan Quinn gets on the table and pounds for anybody, they're going to keep him. They're going to at least consider what he has to say. Because before, the biggest thing with the coaching staff was I don't want to disrespect them because again they were pros and they probably, between Rob Marinelli and Jason Garrett and everybody else, they probably forgot more football than I'll ever know. But at the same time, all those guys did kind of lead behind Jerry and Steven. Whatever those guys said they were going to do, they were going to, get behind it. They were company guys in a lot of ways. So it's nice to see that.
They were the stepchildren of those boys. Mike McCarthy got juice, but the problem was, he had Kellen Moore, a guy who that was their baby. So he had kind of a filter right there. There's no longer that anymore. And I think from a cultural standpoint, McCarthy had full control. But from an on-field standpoint, I don't believe he did. But now he does, and they're going to look at this as, hey man, this is you. So no more excuse.
All right. Yeah, that should have been. Don't let me go there. Anyway.
What you gonna say?
Don't let me go there. Yeah. I was about to say, what am I talking about? Who are we talking about here? What have we been saying for 25, 30 years? Of course. Right. I don't need to beat that horse. Again, hopefully, Zach is going to sit out. He's going to take that hit because he's going to take those hits and sit out.
Apparently. Man, we'll see. We'll see how many hits he takes because that's a lot of money. I think it's $50K a day.
Yeah, and they used to cover that some kind of way, but that's all out of his pocket. So I guess he sees. I just think Zach strikes me as the type of guy. He's a smart dude, real smart dude, and I think he sees he doesn't have as many years in front of him as he does behind him, and he's just trying to get him something before he goes. I don't get the feeling Zach would hang around if he wasn't himself. If he kind of slipped away, he was just another guy. I don't think he's the type of guy that hang around for a check.
Oh yeah. If he was just another guy, I don't think he'd hold out.
Yeah, I don't think he's holding out just because I think he's got one more bag he's trying to get, so that when it does happen, he can walk away and be okay. And that's just my feeling on that. But hey, man, love the show, and I'm excited for camp. And congratulations again, Trey. He got his money, and he's just gonna get better. He's done nothing but get better every year. Last year was probably his best year to me. The interceptions come and go, but he got a lot better.
He improved.
Taking guys out, top guys out, top wide out. He's just taking them out. So hey, you don't get somebody like that out the building. He's Byron Jones times 10. So you don't let him out the building. All right, Scott, man. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yes, sir. Salute. Yeah, man, you don't let that guy out of here. 17 picks in 3 seasons. Most interceptions was a tie with Everson Walls. You don't let that guy go. Not at all. Where am I out here trying to mute you? Where'd you go, Marcus? There you go. Yeah, man. And this is why you should be excited about it, because we all believed, at least I did. I believed this one was going to be one of the tougher ones because of his resume. He was an all-pro. Pro Bowler, legitimately Pro Bowler, not none of that. He earned that in my opinion, not no reserve type guy. All-Pro, Pro Bowler, ascending. He's young. You know, I think he's like 25, maybe 24, something like that. He's a young cat. He has the size. He has the mentality. This isn't a troublemaker type dude. He checks every single last box. So I thought he was going to come out and try to break the market. And we've seen this play out at the cornerback position with Byron Jones. And they was like, nah, we good. We'll hit you with the 5th-year option and we'll let you walk. So like I said on Twitter, I didn't believe this one was going to get done early, let alone first. So you gotta love it, man. DP, are you with me? What's good, man?
What's going on, Scott Walker?
How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I just had to call in because I woke up this morning. I had this bad taste in my mouth, and I said, man, I only way I'm going to get rid of this is go ahead and spit something I never thought I would say publicly. First off, I got to say the Cowboys Nation, stand up and give yourself an applause for the great amount of pressure we have been putting on the front office all summer, all off season, because we're starting to see results. I think everybody in the organization is starting to get more on Mike McCarthy's page, and it's showing in how the front office basically is not making the usual noise and not doing the public fighting with the players that they normally do. But more than anything, I gotta say, shout out to Stephen Jones.
Yeah,
I did some quick math. I did some quick math. Still, they gave Trey 21.25 when he signed, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So since they gave him that money, let me pull my calculator back out so I don't mess this up. That means he has 75.75 left to play out after this year for the next 5, right?
You're talking about per year?
No, that's what's left after that signing bonus.
Well, he's got 42.2 guaranteed, so he got about half of it. Yeah, he got about half of it.
That's the guarantee. That's what I'm saying. Just hear me, Scott. They gave him 21.25 out of 97. That means 75.75 left. That means
essentially
after this year.
Okay. I think you got your math wrong. He got 21.25 out of 42 guaranteed. The 97 is the incentives and whatnot. So you want to look at, that's why I say contracts NFL are funny money. The 97 and 104 million is the funny money aspect. The 42 and the 21 is what you really should be looking at.
Yeah, he got half his guarantee up front. But what I'm just saying, the way they structure a contract, you don't necessarily get paid the same money every year. What I'm just saying, on an average, that only leaves about $15 million a year for him to get paid on the cap. So that's what I'm saying. We got to go ahead and clap it up to Stephen Jones. We got an All-Pro corner for 15.
15 what, per?
Yeah, that's gonna be his cap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you extend out his, because it's really 6 years if you count this year. Over the next 6 years, you got him at I think it's like whatever the money is, it's a great deal. It's really figuring out the details of it is minuscule compared to cause I think I looked at it. He doesn't fall in the top 3 in anything. In regards to this. So that's amazing. When I believe he could have got that.
And I think he could have got it. I think pretty much any team in the league would have gave it to him. I think we got to go ahead and tip our cap to Trey for showing that this is where he really want to be. You know what I mean? The dude's a core player, and he wants to be a core player. So he took a deal that's fair to him and to the team, and didn't fight about it. You know what I mean? Just kept his head down and went to work. You got to respect it on both sides.
Yeah, that's why I started off saying, I gotta shout out and give kudos to both sides. Kudos to the front office for being able to, get this done and not break the bank, and kudos to Diggs for saying, look, I'm not trying to bust y'all upside the head. I don't need to break the bank in the sense of reset the market. Where he could have asked for that. Somebody would have gave it to him 100%. And they came together and they compromised. So,
and I think the big picture thing that it shows, our front office, probably over the last decade, every time we have a player that makes a Pro Bowl, it's like we feel like we got to break the bank for them.
Oh, they got beat upside the head.
If we can start to do contracts where it's more of smart money management and being fair to the personnel, rather than just saying, I got to win all the time, I think we have a much better chance of keeping this team together for the long run.
Yeah, they got out in front of this one, and I think it was Gelkin who said it. This is the first proactive contract since Ezekiel Elliott. Technically, that whole summer, all those guys were proactive guys: Jalen Smith, Ezekiel Elliott, and Lyle Collins. So this is the first time since then they've kind of got out in front of contracts where it was going to run out at the end of the year. So if you can do it this way, man, you can always kind of stay ahead of the game. But it takes two to tango, right? At one point, DeMarcus Lawrence wanted a super bag, and they said, "Man, look, we ain't ready yet." Tagged you. It cost them a lot of money. They messed it up with Dak Prescott. They could have got out in front of that. They decided not to do that. Tagged them, and now here we are. That's another conversation we'll eventually be having soon. And they weren't perfect in it, but as long as you learn from these things and you as a player are learning the market, I think you can find a healthy middle ground.
I think so. I think also just the timing of it. Man, the last 3 days has been kind of crazy, man. You get exact, go get mad, then this happens, and we get to silently go ahead and put your cousin back on out there with the starters.
Come on,
man. Whenever you ready. It's just kind of crazy.
Look, if this Diggs thing didn't go down, trust me, I'd have been all over this, Terrence Steele being back out there thing. That's huge. That's huge.
Man. Like, him and Antonio ready to go. Like, wow, that changes. That changes a lot.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
ADP.
We got about 5 others on here. Let me get to them real quick, brother.
All right, still. I just had to get that out, man. Shout out to Steven Jones. I'm going to quit calling you baby nuts for a couple of weeks, as long as you sign one more.
All right, bro. Salute.
All right, bro.
Let's hear from our guy, $100,000. I know you call in on a day like this. What's good, $100,000?
I'm good, man. How you and the fam, dog?
Man, doing excellent. Good summer so far. Just waiting to hear if we can get out there at camp next week. That's the last thing to get done.
I wish I could, man. I wish I could. I want to slow down a little bit.
Okay, we put too much praise.
Too
much praise.
A little bit. Yes, too much praise.
It's a good day, man. It's hard not to.
The key word is Diggs ain't want to hit him over the head. Diggs was ready to take a deal that wasn't top 3, top 2 of the market. He's not even, you know what I mean? Top 3, top 2. He's not. So so he was willing to work with them. You get what I'm saying? And even when in the middle of working with them, they had issues. They had issues, and it probably was in that guaranteed money.
What do you mean?
Remember, Dez was on some, yo, he should get a fully guaranteed contract. You know what I'm saying?
Well, honey,
so
isn't issues just negotiations? I mean, when I did my contract with A to Z, it wasn't like they offered something and I accepted, or I offered and they accepted. We had to negotiate. It took about a month of negotiations before we came to something. I wouldn't consider that some major issues. That's just contract negotiation. You know what I mean?
Agree. I agree with you on that one. But when it comes to, okay, we've been talking about this Dak contract all summer. What's going on? You get what I'm saying? What's going on? He should have been first. What's going on with that? You get what I'm saying? Like,
see, I'm not in the business of who's first. I'm in the business of do right. You know, if Dak's
right, that's what I mean.
The thing with Dak's contract, and this is something I don't know if it's been said, they don't necessarily have to do that this year. It'll cost them more money. It'll cost them more if he goes out there and he balls.
They need to do it this year.
It'd be smart. It'd be smart, but they don't have to. They can say, look, if he balls out this year, and then I know the cap hits like $60 million next year, but if you do the extension, then it won't be $60 million. But as much as we want Dak's contract to be extended, guys like Diggs needed to get done because he doesn't have another year. Dak has another year on his. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Steele doesn't have another year. Like those guys got to get done. And he already got his contract restructured, so he created cap room for you this year. So
he did. But what I'm saying is, okay, if they get Steele done, You get what I'm saying? And if they get still done and they get, and then I'll be like, okay. But you got a guy done that was willing to work with you. What happens when you got CD and he ain't willing to work with you? He want his papers. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody's not going to be willing to work with
I
you.
See what you're saying.
Get what I'm saying?
Okay, so
what you're going to do when Michael Parsons, we ain't even going to talk about Michael Parsons.
Well, they can't do nothing there.
But what are you
They can't do nothing but hand him a blank check. What you going to tell Micah no? Come on.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to slow down on Catboy until we get somebody until they show us, oh man, CD wanted his money and Catboy gave it to him. Okay, Catboy, then we can get up and applaud for Catboy if he gives CD what he wants because he realized we can't live without CD. Then we can stand up and applaud Catboy. But we can't do that if two guys is willing to make a deal. If he says, yo, I don't want to be top 3, I don't want to be top 2, I don't want to knock y'all over the head, you can't applaud Catboy for that. That's in Catboy wheelhouse right there. He'll do that all day long.
Damn, honey. I got no rebate, bro. That's real shit. That's real. I wasn't even thinking of it that way, because if somebody come to you and say, look, man, I don't want the blue magic price. You know what I'm saying? I'll take the step down price. Damn.
You know
I ain't gonna fight you, dog. I ain't gonna fight you.
Come on, a.k.a. Zach Martin with his money. Catboy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Catboy? Zach Martin said, let's go. What's up?
Okay, so you saying put a pin in this, until Dak or CD is saying, hey, dog, nah. I know Diggs took less than setting the market, but we want to set the market. And then let's see how he negotiates then.
Yeah, he's going to applaud this because he's trying to send a message. Listen, y'all. Y'all need to do what Diggs did. So, of course, he's going to praise this deal. The Joneses are going to praise this deal. You see what Diggs did? We need y'all to follow now. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, I said this on Law Show. I said, if you think that Stephen Jones is going to give Michael Parsons a blank check, we all seem to think that.
He'd be a fool now.
It's not happening. I'm telling you right now, it's not happening. If he's going to say, listen, it's about the pie. We don't have these guys. We can't pay you. We can't give you all this money, Micah.
Shit.
It's about the pie.
$100,000?
And Micah.
$100,000? I will. We can put a bet right now. Michael Parsons will break the market. Seriously. He will get that bag, dog. I mean, unless he has a catastrophic injury, unless he just falls off the face of the earth this year, Micah Parsons is going to get the ultimate bag.
He's going to get tagged first.
Well, that won't be until 3 years from now, and which would be idiotic for them to do that because it's going to cost them more to do it that way.
We've seen it done.
We have seen it done. You're absolutely right. But you're absolutely right. But is he not going to get the bag, though? He's getting that bag. He getting that bag, though.
If
we really doubting Michael Parsons is getting the bag.
If he gets hurt, and gives the Jones, if he comes to the Jones, I love the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy fan. Listen, I ain't trying to knock y'all over the head.
Dak Prescott,
players of the team,
tore his ankle off his foot. Tried to put it back in like it was a Lego piece. He set the market.
They had no choice. He a quarterback. You don't know how quarterback.
Michael Parsons is a top 3 player, 5 player in this league. $100,000.
I get it. And then too. Don't you think what they did with Dak and how they messed that up? They gonna say we can't do this with Michael Parsons.
But they messed that up because they didn't extend him earlier. Messing it up for Micah would be waiting, like you said, to tag him. That means you're not signing him after year 3. You're signing him after year 5.
So if I'm them, I'm coming to him. I'm coming to him next year.
Yeah. Go ahead and get that out.
I'm coming to him after summertime. This time next year, it should be Michael Parsons with the big deal.
I mean, that's fair. If you want to get this thing done early, you say the same thing, but if you want to get this thing done early so you're not paying more later, you go to Micah after this year and you say, Michael, let's go ahead and hammer this record deal out. Let's get it done. Because whatever year it's going to be a record deal.
Facts.
Right?
I agree. But I'm just nervous. Leave Micah out of this. I want to see what CD going to do, because either CD's preparing like, I'm not going to get a contract. I'm going to have to play it out this year. That's how CD's preparing all summer. And if CD balls out, you telling me he ain't going to try to knock them over the head?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna come under the average. Like we thought $20 million minimum per year for Diggs. He came under that. I don't see CD coming under 20. So
no. I see him at least being top 2 or trying to be the highest paid.
Shit. Look,
if CD balls out this year, he's not going to try to get top money.
Oh no, for sure. But that's the game, and that's why honestly CD should probably be next. CD should probably be next because we talked about this when we talked about CD some months ago or weeks ago. If you look at the market for wide receivers, cornerbacks was low-key plateauing. It wasn't necessarily taking a dive down, but it wasn't going crazy. It was in that $18 to $22 million. Where these wide receivers, bro, it went from 15 to 18 to 22 to 27 to 30. Man, if y'all don't get in front of CD Lamb and he go out here and have 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns and he's a beast in the playoffs, you can forget about it. He's likely coming for the top spot, and rightfully so, because all he's done is progress. So it'd be smart to get out in front of CD Lamb.
It'll be smart for CD to be like the next guy before training camp is over to get paid.
Hey, he talked about it.
That's what I.
Steven talked about it. He said we're trying to get at least 2 of these things done.
So if he said that, that means he's close.
Possibly.
That means he's close because he knew this contract was done. That's why he was coming in. He already knew this contract. They had that set up nice. And they knew they had to do that because of Zach Martin. You got to see how the Joneses roll. We mad about Zach Martin. So what they do? CD. All right, we're going to get them Diggs. We're going to get them Diggs right quick. We're going to get Diggs done to get the heat off of Zach Martin off us.
Yeah, it's not an easy game. Like when you draft well and you got to, and I'll say this and I'll be fair, when you draft well and these guys are really good like this, yeah, it's going to be tough at the negotiation tables for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. The thing about it is we're in a crazy position because we draft well, and these guys are going to be like right behind each other because we draft so well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're so great at the draft and we got good players so much, the contracts is going to be like that.
For sure. Hey, $800,000. Let me get the rest of these folks up in here, bro.
All right, man.
Appreciate you. Saw somebody in the chat mention CD got to correct his drop issues. I'd argue he's done that. 10.8% year one, not good. 8.1%. And then he cut that in half to 4.5% last year. So, I mean, he's trending in that direction of correcting those. And, 4.5% is not terrible. In fact, it's better than a lot of the wide receivers that people have them ranked above. Believe it, or that have CD below, I should say. It's better than that. So I think CD did that. I can't remember who said it in the chat, but look, man, I don't think there is any more questioning what CD Lamb is. CD Lamb is like that. Oh, man. Like our own fan base be interesting. Mel, what's good, Mel?
Man, my God, I'm so glad I went after $100,000 specifically because I kind of feel like, and much respect to him, I do understand the way he's viewing it, but the way he's viewing it is exactly why you have to give Steven the props.
Okay, explain.
Because you basically, if you're saying that we got a top corner, we didn't get him for under market value, but we got him, at a good price that's going to work for us.
Yeah.
We got him at a fair price. It was good. It was good for both sides. Whenever you do a deal that's good for both sides, you got to give both sides their props. I don't think that I would look at Steven and be like, "Oh, well, he didn't give him what he wanted, so I'm not going like." So I think that's why we've been not giving Steven that's why we've been giving Steven a hard time because he waits or he does the bad deals and then he ends up getting raked over the coals. He didn't get raked over the coals. He was able to go, "Hey, look, This a fair deal for us. This a fair deal for you. And they got a deal done. They got it done in a timely manner. They got it done when it was supposed to get done. I think you got to give Steven his props. I wouldn't look at it like, oh, we got to wait to see what happens. No, well, we in right now.
On one hand,
we in right now. So
on one hand, I get what he's saying. On the other hand, though, I can't assume that Diggs did not go in there and the first offer was, hey, I want top money. I want the top money, right? And then Steven and them probably said no, and they was like, all right, I just wanted to see Rock go with it. Now let's get to the negotiations, right? He probably did go in there and try to bust him over the head, but then realized they ain't going for it. Let's try to figure something out. Because that's what basically we're assuming. And we're assuming that Diggs went there and said, oh, I don't want the number 1 overall money. You know, I just want number 4. And if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, that's an easy deal to make. But I'm not going to assume that's what happened. I'm going to assume he aimed high at Willis, and they came and met in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I understand the whole Zach Martin thing. They can get everybody done, but it ain't gonna all happen on the same day. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's not gonna get signed this week. Everybody's not gonna get signed. And on the real, I don't care really how long Zach Martin don't show up to camp. I totally trust when Zach Martin gets to camp, he gonna perform, and when he gets on the field, he's gonna perform. I'm not really worried too much about Zach.
I ain't worried about Zach. Zach, as long as I'm only worried if Zach misses games, which I don't see Zach missing.
And I don't see that happening. And I'm just like, yo, we gotta start taking these victories when we get them, y'all. Like everybody, like, well, what happens when Micah's 3 years from now, y'all? Like, relax. Man, we ain't gotta worry about what's gonna happen with Micah.
They was talking about Micah's contract after his rookie year. I was like, fam, what are we doing?
They're like, oh, what happens when Tyler Smith is up for? I'm like, yo,
fam,
relax.
I saw that today on Twitter. Who's the bull? Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas just got signed. Big deal. Big contract extension
big deal
for the Giants. And somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it was like, hey man, this might be a barometer for what, Tyler Smith. Wait a minute. Why are we talking about Tyler Smith's contract? What? You know what it is, bro? It's because we're, and I said this the other day, because we don't participate in free agency as much, we're hyper focused on our contracts, especially because we're one of the few front offices that openly speak about cap. Like it's nothing. Like we probably say the word cap more than championship and Super Bowl. Seriously.
Even our own fan base.
Well, yeah. Well, that's because we've been conditioned. I will be completely honest. I've got the, I don't got my button for me today, man. I don't got the button to press. But I got the whole Dwight from The Office syndrome. Anytime contracts come up and the season's over, then I'm ready to talk about cap because we've been conditioned that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to try to change that to let's talk about how to build a championship team as opposed to the first word out of your mouth is, well, the way the cap and the pie work. I don't give a damn about what you think about the cap. How are you going to put the best team together? Stop talking about cap to fans.
Stop it. Stop it. I mean, and like I say, man, I'm not the biggest Stephen Jones fan. Let me not say I'm not the biggest Stephen Jones fan. I've been a critic of some of the stuff he's done in the past. And the way they've moved in the past.
I'll say it for you. I am not the biggest Stephen Jones fan. But if you're going to be a fair person, don't you have to give credit where credit's due?
And that's what honestly, Scott, that's what you've always done here, bro. That's what you've always done here. When it's time to give credit, you've given it. When everybody was kind of crapping on Kellen, you was like, hey, these are the things he's doing well. These are the things he's not doing well. When everybody is praising that, you're going, hey, these are the things he's doing well. These are the things he can do better. It's not that you've ever really been on one side or the other unless something is just blatantly obvious. But
Steven, I was leaning heavy. I was leaning heavy on one side with Steven, boy. He couldn't do nothing to win me over. But this summer, man, I've eased back. It felt like ever since like March, I've been sitting here every single move. Hey, clap it up for him, man. Clap it up. I just hope it continues.
Man, this has been one of the best off seasons, and it's continued. Like it's continued to be one of the best off seasons that we've had I mean, in a very long time. Like, in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I can't even give you
smart deals.
I can't give you a date. I don't even know what year was as good as this in the last 10, 15 years.
I like, usually when fans are getting overly excited for the start of the season, I'm like, okay. Right now, bro, if anybody is running around screaming Super Bowl or, NFC Championship or, 13-win season, there's no way I could say anything to try to bring that joy down. Not that I would anyway, but it's totally warranted right now.
Yes.
It's totally warranted right now. We definitely, with what we've done and the practices and the camps getting ready to start, man, there's no reason you guys should not be excited. There's just no reason you guys should not be excited.
Facts, bro. Facts. I mean, they've done everything to make you, be out here saying it with your chest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, my brother, I hope I get to see you at camp this year, my man. And looking forward to us getting down, my man. And safe travels, my G. And salute to you, brother. Thanks. Hey, man, glad to see you back on the air.
Man, glad to hear from you.
We was definitely missing you.
Appreciate it, Mel. That's my guy, Mel, man. Mel Hayes. We fingers crossed. I think today I need to find out, because if not, then look, we just gonna be here next week, and I'll just wait till they come down to Dallas. But we still waiting on the word, man. Waiting on the word. Yeah, I mean, look, for years we've been hoodwinked.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray.
Run
amok. This is what he does.
That's what he did for years. Well, we don't need this or we don't need that. And for years, every time we get to a certain point, we see the other teams that were doing this and doing that advancing. So I think it was fair, but I also think it's fair to then, yes, give praise and yes, give kudos when certain things are happening that should make your team better. Let's get Keystone in the building. What's good, Keystone? Let me lock this up real quick.
The conference has been locked.
What's going on, fam? Can you hear me?
Man, I got you loud and clear. 717 in the building.
You already know. I was just ready to chant that out. It's been a minute, Sky.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but yeah. I wanted to lay out a pro and I want to lay out a con about Trevon Diggs.
Let's do it.
The pro, congratulations to you, young fella. You got your money and you did it. You stayed humble and you was disciplined about it. Gotta salute that.
Yeah.
But the con, y'all ready for this, Cowboy Nation? Say hello to the new enemy of the Dallas Cowboys, all because he got paid. Let him go out there on that football field and have, let's say, one or maybe 2 or 3 bad games. I guarantee you it's going to turn into a Trevon head coach saying, see, we shouldn't have paid him all that money. See. Look how he up there letting that coverage go like that. Everybody was bashing about coverage yardage when half of the stuff they were saying was not even true about him anyway. So that's why I want to lay that out. I'm like, really? Because they did it with Zeke. They did it with D-Law when he had his money. And now they're doing it with Dak. And
everyone.
Here comes Trevon Diggs.
You might as well just say everybody that gets paid. And honestly, brother, at this point, Keystone and Cowboys Nation, I think that is just to be expected from any single player in the league now, bro, because of social media, because of, our voices are more prominent out here and seen, that anytime somebody gets paid and they do something bad or don't do something good or whatever you want to call it, social media is going to go off. They're going. Like I said, somebody in the chat earlier said he sucks because of the Niner game, and I'm like, this is exactly what you're saying. And he didn't even get the bag. So just imagine now he misses a tackle or gets a pass completed on him. Oh, Trevon Diggs sucks. It's like, all right, man. If you want to be a casual, feel free.
And you wonder why I laid it out as a con.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is ridiculous. We need to get over that hump. This is getting out of hand. Stop worrying about another man's pocket. Worry about his performance.
Facts, bro. I'm of the ilk that I wouldn't even disclose numbers. This is just extra content, for the NFL world, sports world, is the contracts. I wouldn't even disclose that. But,
You know, Mike McCarthy don't want anything exposed out of this house.
Nah, but he can't control that, unfortunately. But if I was if I was these leagues, I just wouldn't do it. What's the point? I don't give a damn what these dudes are getting paid like that. Just like you said, go out there and perform. Keystone? We lost Keystone. But yeah, man, he's not necessarily wrong on this situation in regards to the con, if you want to look at it that way. And that's kind of been the norm here in Dallas, but I think it's becoming the norm across the league. Any player that gets paid, probably they're talking Giant show or they're talking Viking show. We paying this guy that amount of money and he just threw a pick or he just fumbled or he just missed a tackle. Yeah, man. You know how it go. That's just something you got to live with, unfortunately. Let's get 803 in the building. Oh, 803 going once.
Oh, can you hear me?
We got you now. What's good?
I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing back to me. My hands are full. I just had my baby girl last week.
Oh, man. Congratulations.
You unmuted me. Yeah, appreciate it. As soon as she, 3 kids, my third one, by the way. Yeah, as soon as you
I'm working on
me,
3 myself.
I got you, man. Congratulations to you as well. But I wanted to speak on how Jerry handled the presser. I feel like he didn't fall into the trap of that Zach Martin question, because I feel like usually in previous years he would have fell for that bait and tried to make some sort of contract dispute.
Yes.
I'm still in control type of comment moment, and he literally shut it down twice. And I just felt like, that's just a new way of this team moving forward, and Mike McCarthy, sprinkling in his process over this whole offseason.
I was watching that presser, man, and I'm just like, wow, this is a snooze fest. But damn it, I ain't mad at it. Because if it's a snooze fest, that means there's not a whole bunch of this unnecessary overhyped drama surrounding the Cowboys that he's feeding into. It really was. They talked about the Dan Snyder thing. They talked about the running back stuff like, nothing really. Nothing about nothing. You had a few things in there where McCarthy was talking about how they, changed their philosophy from 2020 to 2021 to 2022. And that was some good stuff there. But for the most part, that presser was a whole bunch about nothing. And that's what you want coming out of Dallas, because for too many years, we take anything and we turn it into this big thing. And that is what kind of overshadows what's happening on the field or what's happening within the media. So, I'm excited that there's nothing from that press conference that these media people or us fans can really come out of that and turn into drama. We can get to on the field starting today.
Yeah, I'm just super proud. I know he's an 80-year-old man, but I feel like he's maturing.
Yeah, Jerry has some Jerryisms in there. He was saying some stuff that was like, dog, what, just answer the question. But again, I don't like to listen to him talk football much because he could just talk in circles and it's really weird anyway. So.
Yeah, appreciate you taking this call.
Yes, sir.
I'll catch up with you. I'll keep listening.
Indeed, appreciate you. Yeah, man, Jerry. Y'all know how Jerry can get. They asked Jerry a direct question, and he will venture off on a 5-minute tangent and not answer. He did that a little bit yesterday, but it was nothing that really was dramatic about it. So there's that. Come on, man. This is definitely a day that I figured Toxic Tom was going to call in, but let's see if he's toxic today. What's good, brother?
Good morning, Sky. Just want to congratulate Rosie for having the best year probably since she was in Harriet the Spy. So I'm glad after, 30-something years, they finally got a good one in. I'm glad he had all that time to learn that his way was bullshit, and it's like, maybe I have been doing it wrong. I'm glad he's had all that time. Overall, I just want to say a couple things about this all. First off, congratulations, Trevon Diggs. Great character, hardworking, has done everything that has been asked of him, and he got the money that he deserved. I'm glad he got the bag. One thing you said very early on, though, and this is just a matter of perspective, I suppose. When you said I thought Trevon Diggs deal was going to be the hardest deal, I've always thought the Dak Prescott deal was going to be the hardest deal. And one thing I think the fans aren't realizing it. Oh, absolutely.
I said, can I clarify? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So if you notice this whole offseason, I haven't really included Dak with these guys. Like I haven't. For me, it's been Terrence, it's been Lamb, and it's been Diggs. That's kind of what I meant by the hardest. Because Dak technically has another year, and you can technically extend him next year and all that good stuff. Whereas, CD Lamb, they put the 5th year on him, so that's there, but that's just going to get worse and worse at a position like wide receiver. Diggs has no years left, still has no years left. So I was kind of talking about them. But look, quarterbacks though, I don't think you're wrong. Those are not going to be easy.
So a matter of perspective, I look at this sometimes is leverage, and I look at the players that are up due, and sometimes I have to think about, if I'm that player, do I even want to talk extension right now? For instance, Dak Prescott, I'm coming off my worst year probably since I've been a Dallas Cowboy, and there's all this heat on me, and now I have Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, who just got paid, and others who are about to even bring that number up higher. I'm in no rush to get that deal done. If anything, my stock's going to go up this year because I actually have a legitimate coach and don't have Karen calling curl routes and putting my running back, who's been a bad for the last 3 years, as my center. If I'm Dak, I am in no obligation or rush to get that deal done. So then the next question is, if you're Lamb or you're Steele, are you in any rush as well to get a deal done? Or if I'm Lamb, do you wait to see what Justin Jefferson gets? So then if I'm not getting Justin Jefferson money, I'm still making more than Tyreek Hill.
You also have to take into fact security. In a sport like football, you're not guaranteed the next day. Where quarterback, I don't think it's a negative thing to bet on yourself because the market is unbelievable. It's outrageous. And you can break your ankle and almost tear your foot off and still come back and set the market, right? So, you're not wrong, and Dak can just say, hey, I'll wait, and the Cowboys are probably like, cool, we'll wait. If they get something done, they get something done. But for like Lamb and Steele, I mean, you can you can bet on yourself. There's nothing ever wrong with betting on yourself, but there is something about security, especially for an undrafted free agent like Terrence. Terrence, the $4 million he's about to make is probably about to be more than he's made in his entire career combined. CD Lamb, I mean, he's got a bright future. He can probably bank on himself. But if they say, hey, Lamb, we're going to give you a top 3 contract extension, you're going to say no? So I think it all depends what they come to the table with. If they come to the table with a deal that, is not fair, by all means, bet on yourself the next year and let's see what happens. But I don't think every negotiation is the same or every situation is the same. So it kind of depends on that nuance, those details, the devil in the details that we just don't really see,
Oh, absolutely. And I wish they could see more fans could see the, I forget what caller brought it up earlier, the finesse of a real negotiation, that there is a lot of pushback on both sides. And I'm just really happy, and I'm going to get the praise out of the way, that it was quiet. You didn't have these mysterious reports coming out of nowhere. It's like, former scout of the Cowboys believes Trevon Diggs had it in the game, or just some BS. Or that I hope Steven didn't bring out those PFF numbers when he was in negotiating. But I'm just glad that it was quiet, it was done, and that they got a proactive deal done. And I'm going to ask you, when was the last time they did a proactive deal? Was it the Jalen Smiths and
2019.
The Ezekiel Elliott?
2019 season.
Okay.
And here's it's a precedent, right? Like the Cowboys have been here, and shout out to Dave Hellman. We'll talk to him soon too. Shout out to Dave Hellman, who had brought this up. In 2019, they were kind of in a similar situation. They had 3 prominent names, Jalen Smith, Ezekiel Elliott, and La'el Collins, up for an extension, and they got all 3 of those guys done. Now, it took some pulling of the teeth with Zeke, right? But I don't think there's going to need to be any of that done with these young guys because nobody's sitting out. Nobody's going to Cabo. So I think you can technically do this if they want to do it, but everybody's got to meet in the middle. I think La'el met in the middle of that year. Jalen certainly did. It was very similar deal to what Diggs got in the sense of it didn't reset the market, but it finished in the top 5. Now they made mistakes there. They extended a running back. They paid a guy on a bum knee, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, 1-to-1, they had guys that they felt were guys they wanted to keep around for a while, and they got the contracts done. So that was the last time, 2019.
And you love to see it. And they paid the right guy, and I'm happy that they got it done. And the last point I'll make is, Sky, when you're at training camp and you see Rosie O'Donnell, look them dead in the eye and you tell them, bring back Ryan Null. Have a good day, y'all.
Salute, bro. Funny thing is, when I was down there, even when I had the press pass, I don't recall Stephen Jones really kind of being around the scrum. Jerry's a totally different animal. For those who have, met Jerry or come to Dallas or have been to the games, Jerry loves to go up to people, sign the autographs. He loves that attention. I felt like I was closer to Jerry on a number of occasions. I don't even remember seeing Steven. Yeah, I didn't see Steven at all. Will McClay, chatted it up with him. Jerry Jones tried to get a chat with Jerry. Shout out to Dave. He was trying to hook me up, but it didn't work out. But Steven, I ain't see Steven. I did see Kellen, boy. I almost professionally, I wasn't going on. Professionally was going to ask for a quick little sound bite, but the inner me that was frustrated with him, I don't know how I would have been able to handle that. So, yeah. I let it go. I said, nah, I don't want to talk to Kellen. But wish him the best of luck over there. His quarterback just got the bag, and Justin Herbert. Again, we talked about this with $100,000. If you want to get out in front of contracts, that quarterback one, Toxic, that's the one. That is the holy grail of getting the hell out in front of. Because if he comes out and he plays well, which he's normally done, last year's more of an outlier, that's going to be a huge bag that you're going to have to deal with. But if they want to risk that, which I technically don't think Dak is going to complain about it, but if they want to risk that and say, all right, look, let's go out here and see what we can do this season, and then we'll revisit this afterwards. And if you play great, it is what it is. We'll just deal with it. But if you don't, hey, maybe now we can just ride that 1 year out, or we can, God forbid, move on. But I think he would have to be absolutely terrible to do that. But right now, I think you got a top 10, top 8, top 5 certain days type of quarterback. It'd be smart to get out in front of it, so you ain't got to worry about paying $60 million a year, $52 million a year for Justin Herbert. Shout out to Justin Herbert. Dak now falls in that 10, 11 range of contracts right now. Joe Burrow's next. Joe Burrow's going to surpass Justin Herbert, right? So Jalen Hurts got his. Lamar Jackson got his. This quarterback market is not slowing down anytime soon. It's not happening. There's going to be a $300 million. Well, there's already been a $500 million, but it was 10 years. There's going to be a $300 million guaranteed contract happening at some point. Justin Herbert got $200 and something million guaranteed. Best to get out in front of it, bro. I'm just saying. Best to get out in front of it. All right, we're going to close this one out with my guy, my Oos. What's good, man?
Hey, what's up, brother Will? You can hear me?
Got you loud and clear.
Ooh, yeah, ain't it a good day to be a Cowboy fan, man?
I agree.
Yeah, man, I'm real happy about how it went down, and from the perspective I was looking at, going into training camp and stuff, and we just wanted these contracts done. I appreciate both sides. First and foremost, I want to say congratulate Big Trey. Get your bag and stuff, but at the same time, Stephen Jones, they both found a way to. There's no losers in this situation, And I would say, everybody's happy and stuff going into training camp. Less distractions, man. This sets the tone for training camp and the rest of the contract. It's nice that it's real nice and clean, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy with the presser and whatnot, because I said it was a clean presser, meaning essentially it's been a clean off season. We are essentially complaining about, hey man, our second round pick is going to be on NFI. Jordan Lewis is on PUP. Zach Martin holding out, but he ain't gonna miss no time for real. If that's the extent of the drama in Dallas, sign me all the way up.
Yep, that's what I'm telling you, man. You don't even know, bro. I'm out here yelling. It's 5 a.m. here in Hawaii, man. I'm out here yelling. I'm happy and stuff like that. We got trade locked down for the next 5 years and stuff. And shoot, that's just one that you love it because he's a second-round pick. And obviously, he's an NFL player. He's still getting his money, but you love to see that these players get their bag and stuff, especially when they ultimately deserve it.
Yes, absolutely deserve every single penny of that. And the difficult thing about these contracts is you not only are you rewarding them for what they have done, but you also have to factor in, hey, we're paying you this because we expect you to either maintain this level of play or continue to get better. And I think we'll see Trevon Diggs maintain this level of play or continue to get better, which will make this contract a bargain.
I got you. Hey, let me be a fan real quick. Let me try and talk to you in a language I think you can understand.
Talk to me. Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. Let me get a Ric Flair and a 2-clap, baby.
Woo! I used to have that drop.
He's about to spend more money on spilled liquor than we've made. He's about to be Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing.
All about the money.
Wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
Yes, sir.
And I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
What was better?
All right, Scott, man.
What was better?
I know you understand.
Hold up,
So I
Oos.
just have to leave you off with that.
Hold up, Oos. What was better? Hard Times promo or that one? If y'all haven't seen Hard Times, go check it out.
I always hear you speaking on wrestling. I was like, you know what? Let me get this guy one time. I'll speak to him in a language I know he can understand.
Appreciate it, good brother.
All right, brother. God bless. You have a great day.
Yes, sir. Salute. That'll do it for the phone lines today, Cowboys Nation. Good stuff. Great calls. Chat been on fire, which I knew was going to happen today after one Trevon Diggs got his extension. One down. Got a handful more to go. If we can at least get a couple of them signed prior to the season starting, I think that'd be a dub for the Cowboys, man. One is great. I ain't going to complain about getting one of them, but if we can get like 2 done, that'd be great going into next year, man. So let's get to these super chats on our way out. Bing, bing. Saw one just drop. Shout out to John Phelps, not Michael.
Super chat.
He said, I'm so hyped right now. I swear I can hear the late, great John in my head narrating our Super Bowl 58 highlight reel. We are inevitable. Shout out to Thanos. All right, I got that one. Bow. He dropped 2. Dropped another one that said, hit the like button, people. There's 482 of us in here.
Super chat.
Please do that. Please, please, please. If you enjoyed today's show or enjoy the shows in general, that's all you got to do. I ain't asking you to pay nothing. It's free. It is our virtual currency, as my guy Vach would say, and it's easy to do, man. Only if you enjoy it. I ain't telling you got to hit it if you don't fool with me like that. But if you enjoy the show, go ahead and hit that like button. Black Lion dropped one earlier.
Super chat.
In the show, and he said, T. Diggs is the second best cornerback in the league, only behind Pat Surtain. He's the best cornerback we had since prime. He will continue to shut up the haters. Salute. Yeah, he's like that, man. The cornerback position, I think I said this on Vach's show. I feel like we're going to talk about this guy's the best, that guy's the best every year. There's a new guy. But if you can maintain yourself in that top 5 to 10 conversation, you're 100% worthy of contracts like this, in my opinion. And I think Diggs will always maintain himself into being one of the best cornerbacks in the league. It may switch from time to time. It may not be, the Champ Baileys of the world anymore, Del Reeves, Deion Sanders, especially because these rules are difficult. But Diggs, I think, will maintain himself in that top 5 to 10 conversation for a long, long, long time. Hey, Ron.
Super chat.
He dropped 5 and said, could you tell in the presser that the Gilmore and Cooks trades made Steven uncomfortable? I love it. It threw Rosie off her game. Interesting. I didn't get that from it, but maybe I'll take a second look. I have to take a second look at that one. Yeah. I don't know why it would make him uncomfortable. Shit, he should be happy about it, in my opinion. I mean, those trades were the type of trades we've been asking for, the type of moves the hump moves. We've been asking for hump moves. And how many times have I told you over the last couple seasons? I ain't asking you to go out there and sign and spend $200 and something million. But I am asking you to go out there and do better than James, say it with me, Washington. I am asking you to do better than that. You know, I am asking you to do better than Nolan Carroll, Cedric Thornton. You know, I can go on and on down the list. Simple. That's all. All right, let me get to these. I already got the super chats. Let me get back into the chat on the way out. I see Zeke's name keep popping up. Who got this Zeke thing going? Was it you, Twan? Is they getting on you, Twan? Y'all better leave Twan. I don't know why y'all messing with Twan about Zeke, man. The sooner you come to an understanding with Twan, easier you'll be able to get it to be smooth with it. You ain't moving him off of Zeke. Not happening. Somebody said Zeke was all world between 2016 and 19. Zaytoven. Yeah, Zeke was like that. Sure. Zeke was like that. That's all good, Chandra. Will said, shout out to Brother Law. Absolutely. Law's down there in Oxnard right now. He probably be down there for about 2 weeks. It's good to hear from him. He had a definite family, but he's, dealing with it in his way, in his family's way. So our prayers already reached out to Law. Would not send him our love, his way. So y'all continue to do that as well. But he's down there at camp. Hopefully I can get down there and we can link up. What's true? But our cornerback rate sucked for years. Who sucked for years? I don't know what you're talking about. Danny, people think Zeke Hall of Fame. I think he was trending that way. I don't think that's look, man, I know he ain't here, and I know we had some fun the last year or so with certain things about the running back position, but he was trending towards the being a Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about that. I don't think that'll happen anymore, but there's people that will make a case for it. And I'm going to leave it at that because this will turn into an Ezekiel Elliott show. Trust me, I've been here before. Later today, be back on the Volume. Vosh Lombardi live show. We will be discussing likely some of the things we've heard yesterday at the presser and whatnot. And also, we should have some camp updates. How it happened last year, given the time difference, is right about round 2. Because they go on about 11. So right about 2, they're able to start 2 hour time central. They're able to start tweeting and whatnot, like 1 something, 2 o'clock. And we'll get all these updates. Maybe we'll get some footage. And we usually go on and we talk about what happened at camp with Vach. Now, tomorrow, I have Pat on. That's the beauty of having Patrick Nosey Walker, DallasCowboys.com, do it all. He does everything for them. Each and every week, even if I'm not down there, we will have a weekly update on what's happening throughout the week. And the good thing about Pat is it's towards the end of the week. So we'll get a couple practices in, and then he can kind of tell us what's going on down there with his own eyes, boots on the ground, seeing some of those little small things maybe you're not seeing out there in Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. So we got Pat coming in tomorrow. We'll talk about camp as well. So jam-packed, finishing out the week. Excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and press this button and get up out of here, man. Yeah. That's the one. Terrell Davis. He was the one that a lot of people were comparing Zeke to and saying that's why I should be in the Hall of Fame. Again, I think he was trending towards that direction. If he kept playing like that, I think he would have got it for sure. I do. Not anymore though. Out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Mongo was terrible. But yeah, he was with the 4 Horsemen. He got better, but my goodness, man. He almost got some people killed in WCW. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Good to see you. Man, we got football, man. Like, come on. Hype, man.
Squad!